Slack is a new way to communicate with your team. It replaces email with something faster, better organized, and more secure. Every conversation has its own channel that's easy to join, search, or create. And it's all integrated. You can attach info from thousands of apps, share files, make calls, everything you need to get your work done. Welcome to your new headquarters. Try it for free at slack.com. Slack, where work happens.
Christopher Media, the Toddzilla X-Pod.
I don't like shooing people away, but it's good practice sometimes. Some people like me, some people can't fucking stand me. I'm polarizing, I get that. But I think it's fair that I should come with a warning label. Then I should get that out there before you stumble into something thinking it's going to be something it's not.
The Toddzilla X-Pod on iTunes and ChristopherMedia.net. Christopher Media, let's make some noise. From Asthmacore Studios near Detroit, Michigan, it's Unregimented.
Gangsters, what's up, guys?
Hey, it is Unregimented episode 21. We can drink now. All right. Thank you for listening, liking, and sharing on Facebook and following us on Twitter. You can subscribe on iTunes for free by clicking through the banner on ChristopherMedia.net. You can donate to Christopher Media by using the PayPal button on ChristopherMedia.net.
See, I think if you were just really into the genre of music, you'd be so into Fear Factory, the band.
Fear Factory?
Fear Factory, because
why?
Their albums are so based on the singularity, as you call it, that their lead singer came out in the late 90s was like, I can't wait till we can just download our minds onto a chip and pass it on to our new body.
Man, fuck off.
I'm just saying, man. They were writing whole concept albums about it in the mid to late 90s. So just throwing it out there. I know you're not into that stuff.
I think the most interesting aspect of this, though, is the commerce aspect. And actually, the first thing I thought of is how many stories we hear about, UPS was the last one, Target, all these companies that are victims of people hacking into their systems and getting all their customers' information.
Oh, shit, PlayStation Network.
Yeah.
They shut them down for like a month and a half.
And now they want to put even more information into not only out there on a system that can be hacked into, but on a device that you carry around with you.
In your pocket.
Right. How much of your life are you going to put into that thing? I mean, there are limits.
I've had my data breached twice this year.
Really?
Yeah. 2 different cards. One was an actual checking account. One was a credit card.
Rob from the Weedsman the other day, him and Mikey B were talking about the cases and accessories that they had for their phones. And I said, I don't spend money on any of that shit because this thing is going to be outdated or just break within the year, most likely. Anytime I buy one of these things, there's no point in spending any more money on it. And there is a limit to the amount of personal information that I put into these things now.
Not me. Oh, hell no. I'm lazy American.
Because anybody can pick up your phone and unlock it.
My buddy Paul writes code because of the nature of his job. He has to go to some of these conventions and stuff. And he goes, when I land in like San Diego and I go to these conventions, smartphone, credit card, anything that can be scanned stays in the fucking room in the safe. I'm like, are you really that paranoid? He goes, no,
Dude.
There's really guys out there that can just fucking get that shit.
Oh, yeah, that kind of place? Oh, hell, yeah.
Those guys do that for a living.
Yeah, and they know that, a convention like that, everyone's going to have a smartphone, everyone's going to have a tablet or something that they can hack into, and they're probably going to have a decent amount of money, too.
Half the guys at
a tech convention.
Or just secrets that they can get, too.
Information technology security were hired by companies because they were like, what the fuck are you doing in the inner workings of our business? And they were like, because we're that good. They were like, well, then come work security for us. That's not bullshit. That happens. I didn't know that. I thought that was like some Hollywood hackers shit. You know, that shitty movie from the 90s that made hacking look like a video game. You know,
no, man,
I'm into the node. Well, why am I fighting a guy to hack into something? This isn't Shadowrun.
How do you hack into stuff? Well, first you digitize your face, and then you push all the ones and zeros aside with it.
Yeah, it turns into more like the Lawnmower Man than fucking reality here. Like, when do I put in my virtual reality machine? You don't, you know?
What's hacking look like? It looks like taking a bath in numbers. It's like you're underneath a numeric waterfall.
But okay, so I find this kind of odd, man. So
What's that?
You of all three of us probably keep the least amount of personal information on there. Your smartphone. Yet you're the one who like embraces the idea of certain technologies more so than we do.
He wants to be a fucking robot. He wants to be half robot.
Him and the lead singer of fucking Fear Factory. I'm telling you. You can tell me fuck off all you want. I'll give you the article.
Aaron, I have to know, because I just had this thought.
What's
and
that?
the internet is a fucked up place. Is there singularity porn? Like, is there half
Rule 34.
robot? Is there
Rule
half
34.
robot, half robot, half women?
There is now.
Spoke into existence. Right now, someone on...
Hey, you're welcome, internet. You're fucking welcome.
Someone on 4chan's going, oh my God, this is better than furry shit. Let's get this out there. Quick, post it.
That's a freebie, internet. You can have that one for free.
Wait a minute. Wouldn't the inside album art of Appetite for Destruction kind of be considered that type of porn? Because wasn't it a robot monster raping a chick? So
Of what? Oh, Appetite to... Yeah.
the inside album art, it was like a robot raping a
it
chick.
was a robot.
Why another one was
that
attacking the robot that was had just raped her or something. It was two robots and a chick laying there.
There was a chick who looked like had just been raped. There was a shady-looking robot with a trench coat, and then there's
Sketchy-looking.
a very large looking alien thing with like very long teeth.
Yeah,
that
okay.
was like coming down about to eat the robot who raped the woman.
And speaking of that, real quick,
So I was never sure if it was pro or anti-rape statement. Is it like rape? If you rape women, you're going to get eaten, or is it like rape is cool because robots do it?
No, I think ultimately they come down on the side of rape is wrong. And that's probably how come Guns N' Roses had so many members come and go. Because, they were just like, we can't afford another sexual assault case. You got to go, dude. On top of that, when a guy named Slash tells you have a drug problem, you have a drug
Hey,
problem.
speaking of which...
Slash?
No, that's...
Drug problems?
Yeah, I saw that you have a book upstairs called "What Would Keith Richards Do?"
Oh yeah, I just got that.
I was thumbing through it.
I haven't cracked
Well, what
it
is
yet.
it? What's it? Is it do drugs? Is it 200 pages that say do drugs and have a drink?
There's like 29 things that his like. I was just glancing at this. It's 29 things like that he says to live your life by, and one of them is embrace your addictions. Don't let it get too dark with your addictions, and fuck the shame of it. Everybody's addicted to something. It's just we judge people whose addictions are different than ours. And the only way to get over your addictions is to acknowledge them, embrace them, use humor about it. Because if not, you end up turning into like an AA meeting where everyone's sitting around going, and then I drank away my kid's college fund, and I need God to... we've already been over that, but it turns into that.
Oh,
and obviously Keith ain't down with that.
No fair without Todd. We can't do that without Todd, but we can.
But yeah, the book, it's like it says it's an unauthorized...
Yeah,
it's not even really a biography. It's like the Tao of poo.
Yeah,
it's like they just took all the things that poo has said and just kind of crafted these little lessons around them.
Exactly.
That's what they're doing with this book,
which is an interesting concept because I don't know. I'm not a huge Stones fan, but
me neither.
I don't really know a whole lot about Keith Richards outside of his music, but after reading some of the stuff, I'm like, he actually isn't functionally retarded, because you'd think anybody who put that many drugs in their body would end up wet-brained and, drooling in a corner. Like,
he's the most well-spoken of any of the members.
I don't know. I don't hear Charlie Watts speak a lot. I think Charlie Watts...
Charlie Watts has been dead for 10 years.
You just prop him up. Hey, Mick, put him up there. We need to do another tour. But no, I always thought it was Mick Jagger is like the joke Sam Kinison did, or not Mick Jagger, Keith Richards is being like the guy that gets caught and he has to be the Rock Against Drugs spokesman. Like, hello, don't do drugs and get caught, or you have to do a commercial just like this one, and it's Rock Against Drugs, Christians Against Christ. One goes with the other. You know what I'm saying? You can't have one without the other.
Doesn't that, I mean, maybe I'm not saying that Sam Kinison didn't say that, but I thought it was...
Shit, man. It's got too many mixed signals, you know what I mean? A lot of our heroes are big drug users. It's tough for us, right? And when you're really down and out, you can always think, hey, if drugs are so bad for us, how come Keith Richards still fucking walks? Let's hear the Surgeon General's report on Keith. Little hole in the theory there. Surgeon General says drugs are bad, drugs are evil. Except for that guy. They work real well for him, but the rest of you. It's like that commercial, the guy with a skillet. This is your brain. Here's Keith's brain. Here's Keith's brain on drugs.
I have.
That sounds pretty good.
I wish you'd pulled up the other one. I have taken acid and shrooms and seen the sky split and seen an alien spaceship come down, beam me up, show me that we're all connected, all one reality, experiencing each other subjectively. And I've yet to ever look at a frying egg in a skillet and think, that's my brain.
I lost an alien culture on the planet Arcturus, but I've never looked at an egg and thought it was a fucking brain.
Yeah, that's not my brain. That's breakfast. We've been up for 3 days. Come on, I'm hungry. Cook.
Okay, so I thought this was an interesting subject. This kind of in a roundabout way gets to something that Chris and I have talked a lot about. The subject of allergies. There was a story.
Keep going. I'm going to go get like a glass of water.
Okay.
I was thinking about that like the whole time we were doing that last segment. Like, God damn it. Drink all my drink.
Have you gotten to the point where you're starting to literally wake up in the morning and go, it hurts to get out of bed sometimes?
Not since I quit smoking.
Really?
On honest truth. No.
How does smoking affect my lower back? I mean, maybe quit eating as much fat ass might affect my lower back.
No, I mean, it's just helped me stop feeling like crap. No, I mean, bottom line, I'm still a stoner fucking lazy ass. Sometimes I don't want to get out of bed. But no, I feel less like shit in the morning now than I used to. Well, plus, I don't drink as much anymore either.
Yeah, that wears you the fuck down. Trust me on that one. Yeah, buddy. All right, so allergies. Give me a real quick what we're going with this. Because you're except for, wow, she's 18? She's hot. Yeah, I'm pretty much blind into this subject. I mean, we can talk about that. Hot, you're 18-year-old.
No, I don't know. Let me just lay it out for you on the show.
Okay.
You'll see where I'm going with it.
No, I trust you. You've yet to be a unreliable narrator.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, it's not like we're reading Fight Club. I am Jackson Colon. I get cancer. I kill Jack. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that.
You know, I never read Fight Club, but I have read a lot of his other books. Quite a few.
I'm told opposite. Yeah. I've read Fight Club and I've seen pretty much any movie. Do you ever see the movie Choke with, you know what I'm talking about?
I love that book. That is probably my favorite.
Favorite book by him?
Yeah. The movie was okay. The book... the movie's really entertaining, and if I never read the book, I would be like, fucking, what's his name? Sam.
That's who I was trying to figure out his name. He's in Moon. He's in
Rockwell.
Yeah.
Sam Rockwell, fucking awesome. He's great in that movie. The movie's really entertaining. But it doesn't even scratch the surface. And I know you can make the common argument of like, well, it goes so much more in depth in the book, and there's so much more character development. Yes, because you have 500 fucking pages versus 100 in a movie.
Yeah.
Or 120. So, yes, of course, you can't get as in depth. But they just took... It's like as if there was this whole plot line that ran through, and they just kind of skimmed off the top and took all the salacious stuff.
The part about him choking on purpose in restaurants?
He believes himself to be the second coming of Christ.
Oh, okay, yeah. I didn't pick that up from the movie
very
much. Yeah, so...
And they kind of lay it out like that, too.
We're talking about unreliable narrators, and somehow we ended up on Chuck. Say his last name, because I'm not even going to try it.
I'm
Palahniuk?
Palahniuk.
Palahniuk.
Chuck Palahniuk.
Palahniuk.
Or Diary is a really good one, too. I love that.
I've never seen it.
I'm a big fan of... I grew up on a lot of Stephen King. Mm-hmm. And there's very much... in some of Chuck Palahniuk's books, you can kind of see that influence.
Okay.
And... some of my favorite Stephen King books are not the ones where the monster isn't seen or isn't evident, like The Dark Half.
Love that one.
Yeah. Or, gosh, I'm trying to think of another one. But like Misery is that's not one of my favorites. So that's a great example of like you have this kind of evil, but it's like or It is great. It's represented by a clown, but you never really see what's going on, what's supposedly going on in It. It's shrouded from you. And there's very much that sense in reading one of the better Chuck Palahniuk books.
Okay.
Where he's got this kind of grand scheme, this kind of weird, plot line, but he doesn't really reveal all of it. You kind of, you really get that kind of... It's weird to read a book that makes you feel comfortable being in the spectator or third-person view, where we're so used to modern Western books really putting you in the place of the main character,
protagonist.
In the book. Yeah. You want to like put yourself in their shoes and walk around and feel like you're that character. You know, like reading a part. Have you ever read a Parker novel? So the guys, he wrote these like gritty, kind of like noir books about. Well, anyway, it was a first person book, and you kind of you really get into it because you feel like you are this guy, you know, walking around being a badass and beating people up and shit. But
is that our new spaced out music?
This is the tangent music.
It's me over here,
but
just waiting.
Anyway, you don't get that same sense in a Chuck Palahniuk book. You don't want to even really be the character, the main character in most cases. You're very much a spectator.
Gotcha. Okay. Because I don't know, a first person, Lovecraft, it takes me out of it. First of all, I don't think Lovecraft's that great of a writer.
Yeah. I haven't read that much. So.
Second of all, most of his stuff's like, and I'm writing now, and oh my God, there's a knock at the window, and what is that? Oh my God.
You're talking about like first person written real time.
Yeah.
Like it's I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about first person perspective.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So
instead of writing, you know, she does this and that, it's I do this and that or whatever, you know.
And if you are looking to launch your own website, please click through the HostGator banner at ChristopherMedia.net. That's who we use to host all of the Christopher Media shows, like the Wiesman Podcast. We come out Tuesdays and Fridays. It seems to be working out. Unregimented comes out every Monday and Thursday. M&M Question Everything comes out on Sundays, and the Todzilla X Pod whenever the hell he fucking feels like it. When you sign up for HostGator by clicking through our link, you are helping to support ChristopherMedia.net.
So on to food allergies and hot 18-year-olds.
No. I don't know where you got that correlation at all.
I was trying to pull Chris in by saying hot 18-year-olds.
Nothing's happening. I suffer from allergies myself, and I'm kind of curious about the this boom of food allergies that's all over the place. You know, peanut allergies being the one that gets talked about the most because it's becoming one of the more common ones, and because the reaction is so severe and so sudden. But I came across an article on BBC again, and this was talking about new research about allergies and possible treatments and looking at possible causation for allergies. So, just to lay some groundwork in the article, they mentioned that 1 in 3. Now, this is people in England, but I bet you're seeing the same statistics here in the U.S. Because it's just as common. 1 in 3 people have some sort of allergy, whether it's like I have. I'm allergic to just about every animal on the planet and most forms of pollen. But outside of that, you know, people are allergic to grass, different types of food like peanuts,
bees,
grass, their own skin. I said grass twice, didn't I? Stoner.
Grass, man.
Grass and bees and grass and weed and grass.
My stepmother has she has an alcohol allergy to where anything more than like a half of a drink of anything, like even a little glass of wine, massive migraine.
I'm allergic to beer, I found out, because it triggers my asthma.
Really?
Yeah.
That's strange.
Yeah, if I drink a few beers, I have to hit my inhaler.
Because the only guy I know allergic to beer specifically, not alcohol specifically, it's a gluten thing. Which is another thing.
Probably,
I'm like, why
I don't
is
know.
everybody allergic to gluten now? And what the fuck is gluten? Because we never heard about it as kids, did we?
No, it was always there.
Unless you had a hypochondriac for a parent who's like, they're allergic to everything.
Well, I think it's all these. I think it's everybody taking all these fucking antibiotics.
Boom!
It's fucking with our.
Oh, look at points to Chris.
Check out the big brain on Brad.
Bam! Because
I like to point out I'm high as hell too,
dude. No, that's where this article was going. It was antibiotics. There's been a lot of research about this. They believe that because here's what they did. They did a study and they took, now this is not an empirical study, but there's been other actual scientific studies, but the BBC actually looked at two kids in the UK that suffered from different types of allergies. and did basically a culture of the different types of bacteria on their body. And they compared that to the types of bacteria they found in people in like indigenous tribes in like third world countries, people who had no running water, no electricity, and people who foraged or hunted for their food and lived in huts. And they found far less bacteria on these kids who had these allergies in the UK than they did on these people in these indigenous tribes. And when you look at statistics, you got 1 in 3 people in the Western world developing allergic reactions to all different types of things. You have 1 in 1,500 in your average third world country, people developing allergies.
That's quite a disparate.
Right.
Disproportionate.
Thank you.
So it kind of points to not an evolutionary thing. It's not like, we're developing these, we're all kind of developing these allergies as a species. It's more about environment. So they're looking at the bacteria as a possible, the lack of bacteria as a possible cause, and the way that we eradicate bacteria from our bodies. I mean, there's certainly antibacterial soap and hand sanitizer, and everything's got antibacterial properties in it now. But there's also, they think another cause is there's more C-sections than ever before. And there's actually a lot of bacteria that the baby is like coated in bacteria when it exits through the vagina.
And not so much during the C-section.
Not at all during the C-section.
Yeah.
You kind of like, it's like giving them the last coat of wax before they hit the floor.
We're going to hit you with the Rain X. Make sure those tires look wet. Go ahead.
Hey, I want to see my reflection in that baby's butt.
Well, no, that is a good point, because I as I've gotten older, I've noticed a lot of women friends of mine, or just people I know, they get pregnant and they're like, I've been in labor for 20 hours. They're going to do a C-section.
Yeah.
It's like, wait,
there's a
limit on that?
Right. Yeah. They used to just wait it out.
My mom was in labor for 48 hours. That's probably why I think she hated my ass for so long.
Right. It used to be that they would do it only in the case where they thought there was definitely a problem. There's a breech birth. The umbilical cord's tangled up somewhere.
You just hit both. My daughter was both a breech birth and an umbilical cord,
and that happens.
And they had to do an emergency C-section.
And I'm thankful that we have this technology that we can, instead of just chancing it or losing mothers and children in hospitals to bleeding out or strangulation or whatever, that we do have the technology to crack open the belly and take the kid out the other way. But it seems now more that we're leaning on that as an option, like, we don't want any problems, so we're just going to go straight in through the belly.
Yeah, my little brother was a C-section, and they framed it as, because my stepmother got pregnant. That's his mother and my stepmother. Mm-hmm. She got pregnant late in life, and they said, well, because of, you're in your mid to late 30s, we want to do this as a precautionary measure, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. My daughter, it was, her mother went into labor. They rushed her to the hospital. She was going, something's wrong, I don't know what, and was thrashing around so much she actually broke her ankle when they were trying to get her in the stirrups. They were like, okay, hold on a sec. Oh, wait a minute. This is a breech birth. And what? Fucking asshole.
If I'm singing this tomorrow.
Fucking Amy. I know, right? Right?
I mean, don't Amy even question the punch to the head. Just no. Just no.
But no, and yeah, they were like, okay, cords wrapped around her neck, it's a breech birth, we need to do a C-section immediately. They put her under, they did it. I don't even know if that's standard practice to put the mother completely under when they do it, or if it's more of they give them the epidural and it's they're in kind of a twilight state. I
didn't think they put them under. I thought they would do the like epidural. A spinal.
Yeah, that's what that is, to numb you from the mid waist down. But I mean, they put her under. She was in critical but stable condition for like the first 12 hours after the C-section. Like my daughter's mother. Right. My daughter was fine.
Right.
But I want to get back to the thing that Chris said, and you said the BBC article backed it up about antibiotics. Antibiotics.
Yeah. Well, the overuse of antibiotics and the different ways that we've managed to minimize the bacteria that it naturally occurs on our body and upset this kind of natural balance. And it's kind of all done in the name of just not taking any chances. Same thing with the C-section. It's like, well, yeah, you want your kids to die of Ebola just because you didn't use hand sanitizer? You better hand sanitize their whole body.
Well, I have friends that are, very OCD about bacteria. I mean, almost to a fanatical point. And everything is antibacterial this, antibacterial this. They have...
Let me guess, they get sick all the time.
And they get really fucking sick when they get sick. I mean, like, wiped the fuck out for 2 days sick. Sick like I haven't been since...
Right.
Like, I thought I was going to die. They're like, I go through this once a month. I'm like, what the fuck? Do you have AIDS and not know it? How the fuck are you this sick all the time?
Jesus Christ.
Sorry, I'm just... That's the only thing I can think that kills your immune system like that, to where it's like every month you're on your fucking back begging God to live. Drinking NyQuil, like... You're on a fucking bender and you're trying to do yourself in.
Right.
I mean,
well, because we have this bacteria that lives on our bodies, in our bodies. Yeah. I mean, on our skin, in our eyes, in our mouth, in our stomachs. It helps us digest and stay clean. And I think the problem that we have with this. Well, first of all, we have this problem that it's just gross. And not seeing the symbiotic relationship that has developed over millennia. Right? Mm-hmm. It's always been in this balance. And sure, occasionally things went awry and you have an Ebola outbreak and people die, but in general, it's this very good symbiotic relationship that we have with these organisms. But within the last 50 years, we've started just killing them off. Right?
I mean, 50 years... For sure, because I'm going to say it probably picked up steam probably in our childhoods when we were kids. Because your parents would say wash your hands, but it wasn't like
okay. I'm saying within the last 50 years,
before you
we've
go outside.
Started to. It's kicked into overdrive within the last decade.
My bad.
Like when I was little, we washed our hands. Hand sanitizer started showing up when I was a teenager.
Yeah, and at first I was like, "What is this shit? You're just pouring alcohol on your hands. Well, it kills bacteria." Okay.
There's good and bad bacteria.
Just like there's good and bad cholesterol.
It's like this country did not attend 4th grade science lately.
So we're upsetting this balance, this harmonious relationship that we have with bacteria. It's as if the example that I thought in my head was that it's like the crocodile. The crocodiles, they sit around with their mouths open and the birds sit there and they peck at their teeth and everyone goes, well, why doesn't the crocodile just eat the bird?
Because that's his dentist.
Because the bird's helping him out. Mm-hmm. So right now, we're the crocodile who ate the birds in our mouth and are wondering why our teeth are falling out.
See, I was hoping you'd go for the comic book one, Spider-Man in the black suit, which ended up becoming Venom. But anyways, he said symbiotic. Why can't I fucking talk tonight? See, this bullshit. I'm tired. But yes, you said that, so I was hoping you'd draw that correlation between that but I got you. It's a very sound one. Thank you. Okay, honestly, how much of a germaphobe are you with your children?
Not at all.
Really? Okay. Because
not in the least.
I found myself as a new parent flipping the fuck out about everything, and then that wore off after about like the 2-month mark, 3-month mark, where I was like, God, she's not going to die. She's dry. She's fed. She's not in pain.
Yeah.
She won't stop crying. It's going to suck. We just got to let her cry herself out. You know what I'm saying?
The worst it ever got, and the one thing that I still can't get over is like eating food off the table at restaurants or off the floor anywhere. That's where I draw the line.
But floor spice makes everything nice.
But other than that,
pick that 5-second rule. Pick that up. I almost said it changed to the 10-second rule. No, I got you. That's pretty nasty. I understand.
And I have a certain little, almost OCD-like quirks that produce every once in a while these reactions where and it's more just about gross, like touching the railing on a subway or
You know what I'm going to say, man. It's just a recent one we just posted.
What? What are you talking about?
Motherfucker, spicy taco, yet you won't touch the railing in public?
No, it's
not like you're licking it.
No, it's just... You just think about like all the gross stuff that's on there, or you go to the mall, you go to the Apple store and look at all the iPads. And you're like, oh, all the gross shit that's on there, all the bacteria that's on there. There's more bacteria on that than a toilet seat. Yeah,
dude,
but what?
Where do you... I don't use hand sanitizer. I am in one of the most germ-infested places every other week. One of the dirtiest things besides money is like the tray table on an airliner. It never gets cleaned. It's wintertime. We joke at work. We call it the germ tube when you're taking the plane. Like, because that's, you know...
Yeah. There's still the...
And I don't get sick because I don't use hand sanitizer.
No, I still have, there's a logical part of my brain that just understands, like, this is not a big deal. I'm just saying there's this gut reaction to...
It's an involuntary reaction. It's like when I hear a date. Someone gives me, like, back in 1990, I have to automatically in my head, I don't even think about it anymore, I just calculate how many years that was from then to now.
Right.
And it's just something that I do, and then I go, why did I do that? I don't know. But it's not like obsess about it to a point where it runs my life.
It's like we automatically, as soon as we found out what bacteria was and how to get rid of it, we lumped it in with everything else that makes us clean. And to be clean is not something that's... it's something that we've evolved. Being clean works for us and does actually keep us healthy. I'm just talking about dirt, and right?
It meant many different things over the last couple hundred years.
Yeah, but it means separating the drinkable water from the water that you piss into. It means, you shit over there and bury your people over there, and you actually live on the other side. We've learned to develop these certain ways of living that we would not have advanced as a society anywhere on the earth if we didn't have this structure to it. But we've applied that same logic and that same gut feeling, the same, these tendencies that we've evolved of wanting to keep our bodies clean and healthy to something that isn't actually making us unhealthy. I mean, bacteria can make people sick, yes. But that's like saying, people kill and people make other people sick. So we should just indiscriminately wipe out all people, even though it's a very small percentage of them that are actually doing all this killing. I'm not equating bacteria with people.
No, I understand. But
I do kind of see their side a little bit. And it's like, hey, everything was kosher. We had these, every once in a while I was a crazy person, crazy bacteria, like Ebola that just goes buck wild. And,
Black Plague, Chicago fire.
Shit happens.
But it just, I think
we would have not been able to evolve to this state. We don't think about it. It's probably bacteria that has given us our ability to adapt to our surroundings so much.
Yes.
And to actually take on new bacteria depending on where our surroundings are. You'll find different bacteria. People live in jungle areas than in desert areas in Antarctica.
Well, here's another thing I think. I think people we have been lulled into this false sense of security about gross things. And if you realized how fucking gross everyday shit was. Like people go, ugh, that's gross. I want nothing to do with that. Really? Really? You do you understand that?
Took a black light to life.
Yeah. Oh boy. And on top of that, just how much insect feces or dead insect parts is allowed in our food.
Yeah. You eat 8 spiders a year when you sleep.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that one too.
Yeah. I mean, so anytime I've ever had chicks like, I don't swallow, that's gross. I'm like, let me pull up some statistics for you and put this in perspective,
You swallowing spiders.
Yeah, and you hate spiders. You actually kind of like my dick. So you like what comes out of it. So.
Right. And those spiders, probably at least half of them were male. They had spider semen in them. You have more spider semen in you than human semen.
I used to tell a girl I was with, every time she go, my throat's sore, I just don't feel good. I'm like, I got a cure for that. And she's like, what? Well, and she goes,
fall for it every time.
Jesus Christ! What is it? Your elixir, your snake serum, or whatever it is. It's a cure all for everything. I'm like, it cures all my problems. Because it's like for at least the next couple minutes afterwards, I have no problems. I'm like, there it is. There's my receipt. You keep that. That's for you. That's your paycheck stub. You did a good job. Don't want it back, But all joking aside, I really do think that we got to the point where it's like, oh my gosh, shit's gross. You don't realize how gross shit is. So your little hand sanitizers at the fucking Kroger's, which I hate. I walk in, I always see these fucking soccer moms with like 3 little fucking wet brain barnacles in tow. Don't touch it. It's fucking dirty. Bitch, you just touched a door handle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To get out of a fucking car that's been exposed to the elements all day. How many
that you
times
picked your nose in at every stoplight.
Anytime we go to a school, like we have to put on gloves if we've touched any, you know what I'm saying, and just isolate that shit like it's the Black Death.
But that becomes
you know what I'm saying?
that becomes an issue of liability.
I understand.
That's what that comes down to.
I don't remember, guys,
Like,
and maybe it's a selective memory. I don't remember anyone being that deathly allergic to peanut butter when we were kids.
No.
No, fucking like it's like
never
everybody's
happened. Next to
sandwich.
never.
It's like everybody's damn sandwich. It's like peanut butter or cheese or bologna or fucking
Mayonnaise for me and Aaron.
Yeah.
I think the real question in here is if they're right in their research that us as a society systematically staging genocide against the bacteria in our bodies is the cause of allergies, are we going to do anything about it? Because are we going to be able to get over our gross factor and grow up and just let this shit be? Or I think really there's going to be a lot of backlash against this because, you know, mom doesn't want to hear that little Johnny's peanut allergy is because of your fucking bottle of hand sanitizer.
Because then you'd have to admit she's wrong and may have fucked up, but it might not be on her.
It's never a parent's fault. Just ask them. They'll tell you.
Germs.
In general.
Thing. Germs. Where did this sudden fear of germs come from in this country? Have you noticed the media constantly running stories about all the latest infections, salmonella, E. coli, hantavirus, bird flu, and Americans they panic easily, so now everybody's running around scrubbing this and spraying that and overcooking their food and repeatedly washing their hands, trying to avoid all contact with germs. It's ridiculous, and it goes to ridiculous lengths. In prisons, before they give you a lethal injection, they swab your arm with alcohol. It's true.
We've talked about that.
Well, they don't want you to get an infection. And you can see their point. Wouldn't want some guy to go to hell and be sick. It would take a lot of the sportsmanship out of the whole execution. Fear of germs. Why, these fucking pussies. You can't even get a decent hamburger anymore.
Thank
they
you.
Cook the shit out of everything now because everybody's afraid of food poisoning.
I'd rather cook my own steak at home than go out for one.
Take a fucking chance.
They won't
will you?
do it the way I like
You
it.
know how many people die in this country from food poisoning every year? 9,000. That's all. It's a minor risk. Take a fucking chance, bunch of goddamn pussies. Besides, what do you think you have an immune system for? It's for killing germs. But it needs practice. It needs germs to practice on.
It does.
So listen. If you kill all the germs around you and live a completely sterile life, then when germs do come along, you're not going to be prepared. And never mind ordinary germs, what are you going to do when some super virus comes along that turns your vital organs into liquid shit? I'll tell you what you're going to do. You're going to get sick, you're going to die, and you're going to deserve it because you're fucking weak and you got a fucking weak immune system.
Hold on a sec, because I just have to say, I've always seen that skit in audio and visual.
Yeah.
I never realized just how, like, just like, I can't even describe it. Just like, fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like,
because there's a little bit in his mannerisms and his facial expressions, a little bit of the, like, the hippie weathercaster left over.
It softens it a little bit.
Exactly. He makes these goofy faces, and it does soften the blow of its words, but when you just listen to the audio and you just hear straight vitriol.
Oh, fuck you.
Anger.
But excellent point. And I just want to say, if we're going to end on that, please, everybody out there, if you don't listen to George Carlin, first of all, what the fuck is wrong with you? Second of all, what did we say earlier? You have 50 million fucking gigabytes of shit in the cloud. And don't you know about BitTorrent? We were talking about record collections. You know what I'm saying? So there's no excuse not to go out and get You can fucking don't even download the shit. Go on YouTube and look at it. Yeah. Seriously, because I think there's probably a lot of people out there that don't know who George Carlin is. My ex-wife didn't until we were together for 5 years. And I was like, how the fuck do you not know George Carlin? She's like, I didn't know who the fuck Bill Hicks was till I met you.
Isn't the next thing he
She's
talks
a special
about?
case. Special being the operative word there, Chief.
Doesn't he go into wiping his ass after that?
Yeah, I mean, do you want to
talking about?
So we should just go out in Carlin tonight?
Okay? When I was a little
just a little
boy
bit
in
more.
New York
Okay.
City in the 1940s, we swam in the Hudson River, and it was filled with raw sewage, okay? We swam in raw sewage, you know, to cool off.
I did that as a kid, dude. We would
And at
just
that
go
time, the big fear
and
was
run
polio.
off.
Thousands of
We'd be
kids
in
died
that
from
shit.
polio every year. But you know something? In my neighborhood, no one ever got polio. No one, ever. You know why? Because we swam in raw sewage. It strengthened our immune systems. The polio never had a prayer. We were tempered in raw shit. So personally, I never take any special precautions against germs. I don't shy away from people who sneeze and cough. I don't wipe off the telephone. I don't cover the toilet seat. And if I drop food on the floor, I pick it up and eat it. I eat it.
Like he's just nailing everything we were talking about.
Yeah.
Even if I'm at a sidewalk cafe in Calcutta, poor section, on New Year's morning during a soccer riot. And you know something? In spite of all that so-called risky behavior, I never get infections. I don't get them. I don't get colds. I don't get flu. I don't get headaches. I don't get upset stomachs. And you know why? Because I got a good, strong immune system, and it gets a lot of practice. My immune system is equipped with the biological equivalent of fully automatic military assault rifles with night vision and laser scopes. And we have recently acquired phosphorus grenades, cluster bombs, and anti-personnel fragmentation mines. So, when my white blood cells are on patrol, reconnoitering my bloodstream, seeking out strangers and other undesirables, if they see any suspicious-looking germs of any kind, they don't fuck around. They whip out the weapons, they wax the motherfucker, and deposit the unlucky fellow directly into my colon. Into my colon. There's no nonsense. There's no Miranda warning. There's none of that 3 strikes and you're out shit. First defense, bam, into the colon you go.
Maybe it's not. I thought that.
No, I know.
It was the same rant when he was talking about everybody washing their hands.
It's coming.
And speaking of my colon, I want you to know I don't automatically wash my hands every time I go to the bathroom, okay? Can you deal with that? Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. You know when I wash my hands? When I shit on them. All the time. That's the... And you know how often that happens? Tops, 2-3 times a week. Tops. Maybe a little more frequently over the holidays, you know what I mean? And I'll tell you something else, my well-scrubbed friends. You don't always need a shower every day. Did you know that? It's overkill. Unless you work out or work outdoors or for some reason come in intimate contact with huge amounts of filth and garbage every day, you don't always need a shower. All you really need to do is to wash the 4 key areas. Armpits, asshole, crotch, and teeth. Got that? Armpits, asshole, crotch, and teeth.
Or as my classy mother called it,
In
a
fact,
hula's
you
bath.
can save yourself a whole lot of time if you simply use the same brush on all 4 areas.
I'll give 5 minutes of the show to George, man.
Oh, definitely, dude.
I have not put shampoo in my hair in, I think it's going on 2 months now.
What are you, Eddie Murphy from Coming to America? What kind of Afro Sheen you use? I use no chemicals. It's just natural juices of berries. Shit, that ain't nothing but no Afro Sheen.
No, I swear I stopped using it and my hair is so much better now.
I wish I had your scalp because
you could. You have to live with it for about 5 days. You feel kind of gross for about 5 days, and then it just balances out.
I'm just talking about if sometimes during weather changes, I get like snowfall from my scalp. Like every time the weather changes, every season going into the other, I just get dandruff like a motherfucker.
Yeah, so I don't have dryness issues.
Yes,
so I guess I have that advantage.
My vagina's not dry, but my scalp is. So I keep. Well, as you keep your girls clean, I keep my girl moist. So. Oh, shit.
And on that note.
By the way, we got to keep the partner. I was like, I've had a finger up my ass. I wouldn't exactly call myself gay. And Todd was like, Jesus, Rich. And it's just like, oh, that was the tipping point? Okay. Yeah. You don't wipe left-handed, do you? Because that might actually get infected despite what we just talked about.
No. I make sure to keep it clean.
Hey, please click through the Amazon banner and bookmark the page. When you buy something, Amazon's going to kick us back a little bit of money to help keep Christopher Media going. It's back to school time. You know, everybody buys everything on Amazon anyway, so just go there, click through, bookmark, help us out. Please and thank you. DraftKings one-day fantasy sports. This time, it's upon us.
It's football time.
Yes.
And they're giving away $5 million.
Football.
Yes, first week. Many hours will be wild away in front of the TV for the next 4 months of Sundays.
Yes.
Yeah, and if the Lions do what they're supposed to do, still 4 months of Sundays. But you don't, I think I nailed everything. You don't have to, you're not stuck with the team. No. You get to draft a new one every day, and it's fun. And Christopher Media listeners are winning real money every day. I'm not, because, I don't know, I can do regular... I don't know. Once we get to football, things should go all right. But please click through the banner, ChristopherMedia.net. Please and thank you. Hey, we are going to wrap it up. Thanks for listening every Monday, every Thursday. Check us out on the Twitter. What am I, 70? The Twitter, the Facebook. Fire up the internet machine.
Them damn internets.
But thank you for subscribing for free on iTunes. You can listen on Stitcher if you got that Android. Just talk to Grandpa for the rest of this. And ChristopherMedia.net. Got to pimp the home base. Mm-hmm. But thanks for listening, guys, and we'll catch you next time.
All right,
Thank you.
If you enjoy this show and want more people to know about it, head on over to iTunes, leave a comment, and rate it 5 stars. Make sure you like and share us on Facebook, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter. Just search for Christopher Media. Thank you in advance for supporting Christopher Media by clicking on the PayPal button and by clicking through to all the sponsors who support ChristopherMedia.net. Most importantly, we would like to take the time to extend an extra special thanks to you. Christopher Media could not exist without your support. Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net, and thank you for listening. Christopher Media. Let's make some noise.
Slack is a new way to communicate with your team. It replaces email with something faster, better organized, and more secure. Every conversation has its own channel that's easy to join, search, or create. And it's all integrated. You can attach info from thousands of apps, share files, make calls, everything you need to get your work done. Welcome to your new headquarters. Try it for free at slack.com. Slack, where work happens. Slack is a new way to communicate with your team. Messaging that's faster, better organized, and more secure. Conversations happen in channels that are easy to create, join, and search.